Ladies and gents, do we have a good one for you today? What are we doing? We are replacing the axle shaft, the CV axle, on my 99 NB Mazda Miata. We did get a little bit ahead of ourselves. As you can see, the entire thing is taken apart. But to catch you up to speed, if you're not familiar with the job at hand, you have your axle shaft with two boots. So this is the outer boot. The inner boot is on the inside, and that is the issue with mine. So this axle is no longer necessarily safe because the inner boot is torn, which then dirt and grime is getting in, so we need to replace it. So what we've done so far, just essentially name the parts. You got your axle, you got your splines on said axle right there, and the splines go into the hub, which is right there, and then that has corresponding splines inside the bearing. So, what did we do? Well, the hub is inside this knuckle, so there's where your wheel goes, and this is the knuckle. This has a bolt that connects up into your upper control arm. So this is actually just swinging down, right? Well, what I had to do was take my PB blaster, because this was inside the hole, inside the hub, and this was up. I had to spray inside that hole right there for about a week straight. And I just kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. The reason I did that was because I've seen videos out there where people couldn't even get the hub nut off the axle, the end of the axle that holds it on the hub, let alone getting the axle out of the hub, which is what you're looking at right there. Actually didn't see much there because it's pretty dang dark. Long story short, people were banging this with a hammer, they were using hydraulic presses to get it out, they were trying to heat it up and loosen it, they got it taken off completely, set it up on the bench and working on it. All I did was grab a $5 can of this stuff, and a little bit of patience went a long way. So, once it's all buttoned back up, your caliper goes back on, your rotor goes back on, and this whole piece is fit back together. But dude, all I have to do now, in theory, is pull this out of the differential. So you guys can see it right there. We'll zoom in. That's the other end of it, and it's torn. Coming in from the back of the car now, so you can see where it's torn. It's pretty darn bright, but right there is the rip. And right there is our differential. So it just pops out. Really all you have to do in theory is grab onto it and yank it. You may need to get a pry bar right in that little crease to kind of carefully pry it out from the diff. And there's a seal in there that you want to make sure you don't jack up as well. So we'll be careful not to do that while we're working it. First step, let's see if we can just go ahead and yank it out. I'm not sure that it's going to, but you guys will be witness. You'll bear witness to this. Always try the easy method first. So we're gonna try it by hand. That ain't gonna work. So, all right. So we just missed another integral part of the video, but a little bit of manhandling went a long way. Here is what we're working with, folks. Woo! So that has a nice smell to it. It's a familiar smell for some reason. Bearing grease. So we'll get the new one out of the box. Show you what that looks like. Old one, obviously, new one. This is the end that connects into the hub. Comes with a new hub nut, nice and ready to go. This guy actually is equipped for anti-lock brakes, which this ring, I guess, you can pop off or leave on, depending on whether or not the fitment will work. We'll find out. And then this is the part that goes into the differential. The main thing you want to look out for on this side when you're shoving it back into the differential is this little lock ring right here. Try to kind of zoom in on it for you, but you can see that where there's an open end to it, and then it goes all the way around. So you want the open end facing up. And what I found was the reason for that is if you see it, gravity, it falls to the bottom. Well, when you go to push it in, the differential will catch and slide it up. Well, if you have it, the opening facing downward, these two tips that we're looking at here end up getting kind of stuck and it'll get caught right there. So you wanna make sure it's in the up position. Oh, it never ends, guys. So upon looking at this, there's a tiny rip right there from the factory. It's right down that seam. So look at that, dude. See if we are in good shape-o or not-o. Careful not to nick it. Shouldn't have to be that careful. It's sitting under the car going 80 miles an hour spinning. So this right here is where the other one was split at, almost right on the seam where the clamp was. So I think it was just a manufacturing issue or somehow it got too tight, but I think we're in business, baby. Let's go. So one thing I think I am gonna try is to remove this ABS ring. And to do so, it's probably easier with 2 people, but we're gonna go ahead, push it up into the corner of our wall here. And you just kind of work it around the ring around the rosy. Once you get it down, bada bingo boombo. Doesn't really hinder anything or mess with the ability of this axle to function as it needs. Also, to give you an idea of the inside, there is the empty hole of your differential. What I've seen people do first, a little trick, is to essentially put the hub end into the hub bearing first, lift it up, and then use this as a brace for when you get it into the differential, and kind of hold it here, and then give it one big slam. Just a nice push in, because you kind of seat these teeth into the differential by hand. Get it seated, feel that the teeth hook, get all the slack out of it, and then lift this up and hammer it home. So we're gonna give that a try. I want the open side to be hanging up so that as you push this into the differential, it kind of pushes in without getting caught. Who knows, maybe we'll have trouble getting it in anyway, but I'm hoping not. Alrighty, now that. Oh, that felt like it went in. Boom, we're in. Oh my gosh. Finally, your axle nut goes onto the shaft there, and this guy gets tightened down to about 160, between 160 and 200 something. I think about 180-ish would probably be a good happy medium. A little trick of the trade, actually a trick that I just made up myself. If you have a fender roller, you can attach it onto your hub and extend it out so that this can't spin while you're tightening your hub nut, because the fender roller is pressing up against the floor. So actually the torque wrench goes up to 159, which is exactly the spec of the minimum requirement. So I know if I just go a little bit more than the full torque of this bad boy, we should be in biz nasty. Oh, that's 159. We slipped a little bit. There goes my caliper. Not ideal. A couple days later, we got everything buttoned up, and I was able to wedge the fender roller down a little bit tighter so it didn't slip out on me, but it kind of sucks. So we got it tightened, we got it bolted down. She is ready to rock the socks off. Stick around for more though if you guys are interested. We got some stuff in the trunk that we're gonna be working on. We got the Willwood big brake kit going on the front here, and then we're gonna be wrapping this hood, which this gas cap turned out pretty nice. A lot of fingerprints on it, but stay tuned for more. So stay tuned for more if you want to see all the Miata action. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in the next one.